A brief recap of what we're doing. At the moment, I have got this get stop line code which finds the bus timetable for a single stop. But when we got the stops for any particular location, an address, postcode, or what have you, we didn't just get one ATCO code, we got a bunch of ATCO codes. Or we got 0 at all, but let's assume that we've got a bunch of ATCO codes, and I really need to take each code, okay, and find the timetable for that code and store it somewhere. So what I get is all of this data for each bus stop and stored. So I'm going to get 4 lots of this, okay, stored away so that I can go through each and every single one of them and pull out the information I need. Then I will have sort of the bus timetable for everything in the location. So that's what I'm trying to achieve with this get stop line. So basically what I'm trying to do is get the stop information. So whoops, let's create a function called def get stop information. And what I'm going to end up with is not a dictionary this time. I want a list of dictionaries. So for each one of these I want to create a list of these items. So I'm going to have a list. I'm going to call it the stop list. So I've got a lists, and I'm going to make it empty, and I'm going to return that to my call-in program. So whatever calls get the stop information is going to retrieve a list of data from each and every single stop that's available. First of all, I've got to get those stops. So the data is going to be equal to get local stops. Okay, so we've got this one here. So what it's going to do, it's going to get the address, then it's going to get the bounds, the latitude and longitude, a box, okay, and it's going to return that into data. And I've got my empty list, and what I'm going to do now is go over all of these. If you remember when we ran get local stops and we got the bus stop, the dictionary that we created was, we can just see it at the top, was stops and then with the place list. So we created our own array of dictionaries, dictionaries consisting of ATCO codes. Okay, so I had a stop and a list of ATCO codes, which we've got here. We can see that stops, then the ATCO code. So I'm going to go through each and every single one of these to pull out the information. So bear with me on this one. I've lost my place. There we go. So what I need to do is run through. I'm going to use a for loop to run through. So for every item in data, okay, which is going to be all of this, but I need to sort of pick out the stops key. For every item in data stops, what we're going to do, we need to build our list. Okay, so my stop list, I'm going to be doing what I did up here as well. Because it's a list, I'm going to have to append the details to it. So stop list dot append, and I'm going to pull out the information that I require. So that information I require is by calling this get stop line with the @co code that we pull from stops, so that it pulls down all of this data, and all of this data will be one single list item. So I need to use the get stop line, get stop line, should copy and paste just to make sure I'm not making any spelling mistakes, but there we go. And what I need to do in get stop line, I need to pass the @co code. Okay, we need the @co code. Well, the @co code, okay, which is a key there, and the data, the value there for each item. I need to pass that in. So for the item, each time I go through an item, I'm picking up the @co code. I'm just picking up that dictionary there. Okay, so that would be my item. So that's item 0, item 1, item 2, item 3, and so on. So I need the item and the @co code, the value from the @co code. So I hope that sort of made sense. It's getting a bit confusing at the time, but this will work. And I think I need one further bracket on the end of there to finish that off. That's it. And that's getting the stop information. I think I've got all of the stop information in that one. So let's go through it again. Well, we're creating an empty list because we're going to pass back a list, and the list is going to be of stops. We're getting all the data. In other words, we're getting this information here, which is a dictionary of stops, and inside that dictionary there is an array or a list of dictionaries with a key and a value, and the key is the @co code and the value is what it is. So we are then running through each and every single item in stops. So we're looking at stops and we're running through this list. So that's 0, that's the first item in the list, that's the second item in the list, third, fourth, and so on. We're running through each single one, and we are appending to our new stop list all the data that we get back from calling get stop line @co code. So it's going to bring back the bus timetable for each single one of these, and we're going to store those in a list, rather like we stored the stops in a list. And we're going to process that information a little later on. So I hope you followed that one. On to the next one where we're going to process it.